Welcome back to my channel. It's the 1-2 Punch with Maddie Levine. And hey, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, you are totally missing out because I am always talking to your favorite fighters and everybody in the martial arts world. And today it's a very special guest. It is somebody that made me fall absolutely in love with martial arts. And she has a big fight coming up herself. She's joining me all the way from Amsterdam. It is the wonderful time bomb, Tiffany Van Soest. How are you, Tiffany?
Hey, I'm good,
I'm
thanks.
so pumped that you're here today.
Yeah, super excited to talk to you.
So you're in Amsterdam, right?
Yes, I live here now.
You live there now. How's that going?
It's good. I moved here primarily to train with I'm training with Lucien Carbin, who's an absolute legend in the game of kickboxing, legendary trainer. And it was time in this part of my journey to find my master, and I found him. So I know I have a few good years left in me, so I want to really make them count. So I committed and I moved all the way. I'm used to being in the warm and the sun, and then totally just change of scenery, change
Total
of
opposite.
Yeah, I moved to Amsterdam, but I mean, it's for fighting, it's for art. I'm trying to pursue my art now, and the journey continues.
So how did you link up with somebody all the way in Amsterdam?
A really, really good friend of mine, actually. We've known each other for a while. He's very into fighting and stuff as well, and was like, "This is the guy you need to train with for your style. He's the best, and like, it would be a great fit. And you need to go train with this guy. You need to work with this guy." So, I mean, it was that and like love that brought me here too, but. Didn't work out, unfortunately, but I'm really, really grateful for the connection and for ending up here. I mean, everything works out the way that it's meant to and the way that it's supposed to, and now I'm in Amsterdam.
The world works in mysterious ways, that's for sure.
It does.
But before we get into everything that you're doing now, I want to share the story of the first time that we met because I giggle every time I think about it. So I don't even know how many years ago now, but it must have been 2018-ish, 2019-ish.
Yeah, I would say so.
And yeah, my then boyfriend bought me a private lesson with you, and I was freaking out, so nervous. We show up and nobody's at the gym. I was like, Ross, did you just pull like the worst prank on me ever? But we ended up going to pick you up, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Grabbed some coffee. I mean, that was the funniest day. I don't know about for you, but we loved that day. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was rad. That whole trip to New York for me was such an adventure, and doing the seminar, and yeah, just the way it worked out. Like, well, the gym's not here. Should we pick you up? I'm like, yeah, I guess. So, like,
I know. 1 minute I'm about to take a private lesson from you, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to pick up Tiffany Van Soest right now. Oh my gosh, we're gonna go have coffee with her. Like, it was just the best day ever. Was that the last time that was in Brooklyn, right? Was that the last time you were there?
The last time I was there was actually a couple weeks ago, but by accident.
Oh, geez, what happened?
I was flying back here I was in California for a few weeks visiting family and friends and stuff. And on my flight back, I had a connecting flight through Newark, but it was canceled because of weather. And they rebooked me for the same flight, but 24 hours later. So
oh my gosh.
I was not going to stay in the Newark airport for a whole day. So I'm friends with Heather Hardy. She's in Brooklyn. So
yes.
I called, like, oh, I'll get to train with her or see her or something. And so I called her up and I got a hotel and planned to train and stuff. But I forgot about New York being like the strictest with the mandates and stuff with the vaccines. And I don't have a vaccine pass. So couldn't train, but she ended up, because they wouldn't give me my luggage since my flight was rebooked automatically. I had like no clothes except for the ones on my back, and Heather was so sweet. She brought me some clothes so I could at least go train outside and stuff. Like, Yeah, so I spent a day in Brooklyn. I ran under the bridge and did my thing. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have friends in different area codes for that
Oh, yeah,
reason.
totally.
Were you recently training in California as well? I know you
Yeah,
were somewhere else. So how was
yeah.
that?
It was awesome. It's really good because I moved here to Amsterdam in July. So that was my first time home since moving. So
Mm.
just seeing friends and family, and while I'm there, I'm going to train. So I trained in LA with some friends in LA, trained with a bunch of girls down in San Diego. Um, my friend Irene came from New Zealand, and it was the first time we saw each other in like 3 years because we both lived in Bali and trained together in Bali. And so reuniting with her and getting to train with her and show her Southern California, like a gym tour basically, because she's like,
Yeah,
yeah, so it was great training all over, just being back home.
that's awesome. And I know you're always training, but now you have a newfound motivation after this fight announcement, Glory 80, March 19th.
Yeah.
When you finally got that news, what was going through your head?
Finally. That's it. It was just finally. Like it was a relief to, because with the pandemic and things of like in the industry have kind of changed a bit, and it's kind of like, when's the next fight? Is there going to be another fight? And so to finally, have work again, and um, yeah, it's exciting, really, really exciting because it's been a year since I
Yeah.
fought. So
And I'm sure it's nice to have a refreshing new face to go up against as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have fought everybody in your division not once, not twice. So it's time for some new blood. What are your thoughts about your opponent coming in from a different promotion, different area? What are we thinking about that?
I'm excited about it. It's a new challenge. It's a new opportunity to showcase a different set of skills. And I've been working for the last 6 months on adding new tools to my toolbox, changing up my style a little bit here. So I mean, it's just a great opportunity against a really, really good opponent to show everything that I've been working on, and just to get back in there and do the damn thing.
I mean, you have so many tools in the toolbox. I'm trying to think of what you could possibly be adding.
It's crazy, crazy magical stuff.
I
From a
love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
So the one thing that a lot of people notice about your style is the footwork. And I was actually just talking to a teammate of mine over the weekend, and I told her I was talking to you, and she said, she just has this ability to make it look so beautiful. Like you have this ability to make it look beautiful. Where do you think that comes from in your background, where you're able to bring out this beautiful martial arts performance whenever you're in the ring?
Man, I don't know, because when it comes to anything else, I'm kind of clumsy and like awkward. Um, but I think I've always been a really, really good athlete, just naturally, since I was a little kid. I started sports, gosh, when I was like 3 or 4, I think. Um, I grew up playing soccer since I was 5. Like that was my main thing. So I mean, there's a lot of athleticism and footwork and direction change and agility that I'm sure I've acquired from a lifetime of kicking a ball around. But also starting martial arts when I was 8. Learning how to dart in and out, and yeah, I mean, just I don't know about making it look easy. I mean, thank you for the compliment. I'm glad that I make it look easy, but yeah, the wheels are turning while I'm in there.
Right. People aren't realizing all of the work and preparation that goes into that. And I think that's such a good message for a lot of fighters too. And for somebody like me, I consider myself still fairly new to the game. Um, and I deal with a lot of, mental obstacles. And you mentioned how your wheels are always turning. Sometimes I feel like my wheels are turning way too much.
Yeah.
So, if you were to offer advice for somebody that might be having struggles with those mental blockages, or, doubts in their like game mentally, what would you say to those people?
I mean, it's the same way you build confidence in your physical abilities, right? You train it, and your brain is also a muscle. And so learning all the different ways to calm and quiet your mind under any circumstance. And I actually wrote an entire course on how to do that. It's available online. It's called The Fighter's Mentality, and it's basically my operating system that if you were to take this course, it'd be like you're downloading my operating system for your body, like how to calm and quiet your mind so that you can really focus in on your training to make you better in training and to help you compete. And even just it helps with all those mental things like you're talking about, the overthinking in the moment or just feeling overwhelmed or kind of losing focus or whatever in either in training or in competition. The course is filled with all kinds of tools and methods and even like nutritional stuff to help. It's all geared towards optimizing brain health and brain optimization so that you can keep your mind calm and collected, but still do what you need to do at the highest level.
And I know that in the past you have gravitated towards writing because you're not just a fighter, but you're also a poet, you're an artist. Do you still find yourself writing a lot these days?
When I write, my process is weird. It's tedious and it's long. Like when I actually sit down to write a poem or something, it takes me a really long time just finding the right words and everything. But it happens in bursts and spurts. Like sometimes I'll be really keen and like I'll want to write a lot, but sometimes something will just pop into my head and I'll write it down and forget about it. And I'll do that so many times and then I'll go back over my notepad or whatever. Like I have sticky notes here on my desk. I have notebooks everywhere. I have my phone, like just lines and things everywhere. And from that, like I'll pick one or two of those lines and it'll either be like the beginning of a new poem, it might be a line in the middle, it might be the end, but around those little blurbs and tidbits, something is born, but it's usually not for a while after. It's weird. My process is I'm learning to just like accept it and like okay, this is my process, but also trying to push myself to be a little bit more disciplined when it comes to writing.
Yeah, I mean, you gave us at least one. I don't know if you is it a novel, right? It's a novel. The
It's
book
not a
that you
novel. No, it's more like
yeah
like a coffee table book with just
yeah
like
okay all right.
yeah, poems, little essays, little blurbs, thoughts, a lot of really nice photos
Blurbs is
from.
what I was looking for. Yeah, I just I loved it, and I mean, do you see yourself ever trying to put together another work like that, or was that kind of like a one and done thing for you?
Mm, I would like to do it again because I feel like as a person, I've grown so much, and it's reflected through my writing, and I'll go back and read some of the things that I wrote that are in there, and I'm like, do I still feel that way? Like maybe I need to write something like the updated version of this, because
Right.
that was I think it came out 3 years ago maybe, and it was all things that I've written like 3 years, 5 years ago maybe. So now
Mm.
there's so much more material and so much more life has happened that yeah, I think I'd like to put out another one eventually.
But right now you're putting out a lot of artwork too. So that's I'm sure that's taking out a lot of your time. So let's talk about this very, very unique artwork that you've been showing us online.
Yeah, that's my new thing. Like I'm still writing, but like my main thing now I'm really excited about is my artwork. I'll wrap a piece of canvas around my heavy bag, and I put paint on my fists and my shins, my knees, and my elbows, and I go to work. I paint a picture. They're all over the place. Like some of them are purely experimental to see I'm really frustrated right now, so I'm going to hit the bag with this frustration and see if that comes out in that. There's some where I'm like, I want to see what this combo looks like over and over again. So, and then there's some where I want to express something else or just see what happens. Or I want to try to do 100 kicks in 10 different colors and see what that looks like. Or portraits. I started doing portraits. Like, I'm like, okay, here's a nice photo. Let
Wow.
me see if I can do it in my style. It's like an abstraction. It's not perfect, but the fact that
Right.
it's done with punches and kicks and knees and elbows versus instead of like an actual paintbrush or something is,
A hand. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. It's a whole new avenue for me to express myself using the tools that I've spent my lifetime sharpening, which is, punching and kicking. It also helps with like accuracy and stuff too. Like, so, I mean, there's also an aspect of training while I'm doing it. So, I mean, it's just become so much for me as far as like expressing myself, still training, like my growth as an artist, as a fighter, as a person, finding this new passion and a new way to show how I experience the world and a new way to connect with the world around me. Like I'm really excited about it, and that's why, being here in Amsterdam with it being such like an art heavy culture, I think, this is the right place for me to be to really make something of that.
And are you selling these art projects or are they just for yours to keep?
No, they're definitely for
Oh,
sale. Yeah.
good, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. So where can people find them?
Right now I have a separate Instagram just for my art. It's Tiffany Timebomb _art. Um, I think within the next couple of weeks, though, my actual website will be finished, and you can purchase the paintings directly from the website.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that out. That's awesome. So you must be getting so pumped to get back in the ring. You said it was last year, right? Your last fight.
Hmm.
What has changed in a year for you, you think? Like, what would Tiffany want to tell last year's Tiffany about the journey that you've gone on in the past 365 days?
I don't know if she was ready. Are we ever really ready though? Like for big life things? No. Um,
Never.
what would I tell that Tiffany? I would tell that Tiffany to just keep doing what you're doing. Just stay the course, keep believing in yourself, trust the process, and yeah, have some nice unexpected surprises waiting for you.
I think trust the process is like the perfect mantra for really anybody. You just got to trust the ride. Trust the ride.
Yeah.
Uh, so I always wonder about this, and I've been talking to a lot of MMA people lately, and I love MMA, but my heart will always belong to striking and Muay Thai and kickboxing, and it always blows my mind that the kickboxing circuit, the Muay Thai circuit, we're still trying so hard to find that spotlight. And you have these MMA fans where they literally boo when it goes to the ground because they like the striking so much. So, what do you think, in your opinion, has to happen to make kickboxing or Muay Thai more mainstream? Like, what do you think has to happen for us to get just more eyeballs?
It's gonna take a big character, like a Conor McGregor, or somebody who's just out there. They don't care. They're just bringing attention to the sport. Obviously, they have to be good, also,
Mm,
right? They have to be able to back it up. Same thing like a Ronda Rousey, right? Where like you just want to watch this person fight, or it could be somebody like Conor McGregor, who is you just want to know what this person's going to say. What are they going to wear next? What are they going to say? What crazy antic? Or like, that's the thing. It's the sport itself. The pace of kickboxing is really fast. It's exciting. There's a high knockout ratio, right? And that's what fans want to see. But and there is that, but there's not a big enough character, like who's transponding the mainstream media, not just sports, but even into mainstream. I
mm,
think on this side of the world here, at least in Holland, like Rico Verhoeven, he's like their it guy, right? Because he's the
right.
heavyweight. And then there's always Badr Hari, of course. But yeah, there needs to just be some characters that are good also, but some characters who are just, bringing attention to the sport, because like the sport within itself, it's already got everything that fans want to see. We just got to get them there. And
Exactly.
apparently you just got to be crazy or wild or something.
You just got to be a psycho, I guess. I don't know.
Psycho. You can't care about what other people think. You can't care about hurting people's feelings, or you
Right.
can't care about coming off like an asshole or an idiot or whatever, because I mean, you can't make everybody happy. And there's some athletes out there who are doing it right. They're doing it smart, like Stylebender, Israel Adesanya. He's not being disrespectful, but he is doing it right. He's always dressed really well.
Yeah.
He's well spoken. He's shining the light on a lot of topics that a lot of fighters don't speak on. He lifts other fighters up, but he's entertaining. And then to top it off, he's a champ. He's good. So, just more characters, more star power, I think, is what's gonna really help draw more people to kickboxing.
I had a lot of my followers chime in asking questions that they were hoping that you would answer. And I got the same question over and over and over again. And I think it's just a testament to your mentality that you present. And a lot of people want to know your mentality the week of the fight. How do you approach a fight week? Because fighters know that can be a very anxious week for them. So how do you stay present?
That's exactly that. I just stay present. I don't think about what's happening the next day or whatever. Fight week gets kind of hectic because there's always interviews to do. There's like, you got to make sure you're on weight, get all the last minute odds and ends done, like make sure your fight kit's all ready to go, all of your gear. For me, my food and everything is a big thing. I like to make sure I have my food with me, so when I rehydrate and refeed after the weigh-in, I'm good. But yeah, I remember to just stay really, really present and just take it 1 hour at a time if I have to. I like to just stay calm, stay cool, keep it happy, keep it light, keep it fun, because it can be really stressful, and then you forget why you're doing it. If you're not enjoying it, then like, what's the point? Like, it's time to be serious when you get in the ring. Like, up until then, I'm trying to stay as calm as possible, save my energy.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it so many times in my friends, and I mean, I've done it before where you can literally get exhausted from your thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, sometimes it's just so hard to deal with. Do you have any tools or mantras that you like to say to yourself that kind of take you away from those bad habits?
Yeah, a big one is, I'm a master of my mind, not a victim of my thoughts or emotions.
Well, I'm very excited to see you do your thing March 19th. I mean, that I feel like that's right around the corner. You're going up against another, I know, you're going against another champ, Minazo Kobayashi, champion versus champion. I can't wait. And I know you're going to do your thing. And thank you so much for your time today.
So good to see you. Thanks for having me on.